Good morning, everyone, and welcome to B.A.D. Triathlon. I'm Matthew. This is day 4 of my Ironman New York taper. You can see from my HRV, still trending down. The thing that's kind of most alarming to me is the heart rate. My resting heart rate's normally 46, 47 beats a minute. It's been consistently 55 to 60 for over a week now. So I think whatever this virus is, it's been hanging around for a while. So I'm going to start taking medication today. I'm quite congested through my nose, coming down my throat. So I do have magic medicine. I'll show you later for that. The plan today: pack all my stuff in the morning and prepare my bike because the afternoon I have my annual medical at the doctor's. Jones Beach is a 2.5 hour drive from here, so AWA check-in shuts at 12. My plan is to drop the girls at school around 9, and hopefully I can get home, get the stuff in the car, and get to Jones Beach before AWA check-in shuts. Otherwise, this event is sold out. There's 3,800 people doing it, so I'll be lining up in a massive queue to do my registration otherwise. That'll be a nuisance, especially considering the rain. Jones Beach is scheduled for a tropical storm. It's meant to be heavy rains all weekend with 40-mile-an-hour winds, so that's going to be a big factor. It seems every time I race, this bad weather seems to follow me. But so today, get the kids to school and then get straight onto the packing. I'll show you my stuff and show you the bike. So this is how I prepare packing my stuff. What I do is I create a Google Doc on my phone of basically a checklist, and if I'm walking around, it could be at the shops or outside, and I think of something, I add it to the list, and I never remove stuff from the list. So this list gets pretty big, but it's pretty much everything I could possibly want for an Ironman race. So there's stuff on here, like you can see down here: Andy's hat, pillow, blanket, 1 to 2 meals. I'm not going to need those. So what I do is first thing in the morning go through and cross out everything that's irrelevant, so then I can go and find the stuff that's relevant. And at the end, the stuff that I can only get in the morning, like say my retainers and so on, I highlight them today. So in the morning I can go through and get the highlighted stuff. So what I'm going to do this morning is just go around the house, gather all the stuff, and basically where the dog is, I'm just going to dump it all in here, and I'm going to sort it out from there. So I've pretty much finished packing. You can see on the list everything's crossed out. There's a couple there that are highlighted. One's coffee, Red Bull. That's because I'll keep those cold and I'll grab them out the fridge in the morning. The other one is the heart rate monitor. I keep that because I use the polar one to do my HRV each morning. So I've got my kind of medicines here. B.A.D. I kind of drink quite regularly. It's just a very good energy source, natural energy source. It doesn't give you a kick or anything. It just makes you feel good. I've especially been drinking that with the cold. Beetroot juice. I absolutely swear by this stuff before a race. It makes a huge difference in your ability to push. So I take those before the morning of the race. And this is my magic formula, Afrin. I don't know what the hell this stuff is, but you spray it up your nose and it completely opens up and clears all your sinuses. I take this the night before, particularly if I've got a cold, so it'll mean that I have clear nostrils all night to sleep. And then I'll also spray it on the morning of the race so that my nose is very open for. In terms of nutrition, bottles for during the day, they're not for the race. So what I do on the bike is I use goo. I buy this big satchel. I think it's 15 servings. I fill it up in here. This takes 5, which is one every half an hour, so it's 2.5 hours. This bike course I don't expect to take longer than 2.5 hours. And this actually slides in the back pocket of my tri-suit, so I'll put that on before I put my wetsuit, so it's always in there. I don't need to worry about that in transition. These are caffeine cola gummies. I put these in the bento box of my bike just for a caffeine hit if I need them. And the other one is I have a caffeine science and sport gel that I also put in the bento box. So basically this is my nutrition for the bike, and if I need caffeine I go to this. This is not necessary, but you can see I've got way more calories than are required. I can probably go for 2.5, 3.5, about 4 hours worth there. So Over here is my morning of. I've got I'll drink a Red Bull, this Kyoko stuff. Now that I'm just looking at it, one thing I almost forgot. I need a shaker bottle to mix that up with. I'll eat a Cliff Bar. So that's it. Kyoko with a Cliff Bar and a Red Bull before the race. I'll eat the honey stinger while I'm hanging around in transition waiting for things to start. And as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'll start sipping on a bottle of Element. I just mix 500 mils of water to get that. These two here, another Element and a liquid IV, I drink the day before. Basically, today's Thursday. Friday, I just try and drink, and I'll be peeing like a racehorse, but try and really hydrate and start to carb load today. You can see here there's the cat helping out. That's the girl, you don't see her too much. This is all my stuff ready to go. I'm going to sort this in a minute and I'll show you how it's sorted. I bring a small cooler box. So this is my drinks that I'll drink the day before. I'll drink all that on Friday, plus I'll get in some more water when I'm there. I just bring it with ice. I'll chuck in like a non-alcoholic beer and a coffee as well, so that when I finish the race, I have a nice cold drink for when I drive home. I keep that somewhere in the car. So I'm going to sort all this out now and show you how I sort it. So this is my stuff all organized now. Looks a bit disorganized, but I'll explain everything. So I've got my wetsuit and my swim skin. I think there's no chance that this is a not wetsuit legal swim, but I just bring the swim skin anyway because it doesn't take up any space. You can see my nutrition for the bike. I put this in with the swim stuff because before I put my wetsuit on, I put it in my back pocket. I got 3 pairs of goggles here. The Rokas I don't really want to use, but it's forecast to be tropical storms. It's not going to be sunny, but I just take them just in case. These are the other 2 pairs are exactly the same. They're prescription goggles. Shaded from Swim Outlet. They're like $15 each because I wear glasses. I was really struggling in swims when I couldn't see where I was going, so I decided to get those instead. Obviously, there's the Body Glide that everybody has. Then the main area, I've got my running glasses, a spare pair of socks in case I want to make a change. And these are new these are so-called Aero socks. They costed me like $25 or $30. I'm going to test them out for the first time on the bike. So hopefully they claim to give you about 4 or 5 watts extra. So hopefully they work. I got a headband that I wear under my cycle helmet for 2 reasons. One, it keeps the sweat from dripping in my face while I'm riding, and also when I get off the bike, if I don't want to wear a cap, I've already got the headband on and I can keep going. My running shoe is a Saucony Endorphin Pro 2. I've got about 6 pairs of these, so these are going to be my shoe for a long time. You can see I wear a brand new pair each race. I do have lock laces, so I'm going to switch those laces over today. My cycle shoe, I've got 4 pairs of cycling shoes, but this one seems to be my lucky shoe. I've ridden quite well in this, so I just stick with this one, and it probably matches the white sock as well. One thing I always do is make sure that the cleat is done up tight beforehand. I use the black float because I don't like to have any float in my shoe when I ride. Cycling helmet, that's my tire inflator, so I can, with the crack valve on the top, so that I can need to pump up in the morning of. I use a fluoro green towel that I put down for my transition, so it's easy to find. Vaseline, because I put that in my in my transition, so when I come off the bike, if I've got any chafing, I can quickly apply it. My run belt, this will go in, as I mentioned before, these will go in my bike the morning of, and the rest of it is just stuff that I take. I explained the breakfasts and so on before, stuff that I take in a separate bag, which I will put on or use the morning of. So what happens is all of this either gets put on, used, or whatever else, but it goes straight into a backpack, straight into the car, whereas all this stuff goes straight into my transition bag. So I walk out of the hotel room with 2 bags very quickly. Over here I've just got black duct tape, which I use to cover the hole on my disc wheel, and packing tape because I always seem to need it. Nothing else worth mentioning there. I've got body butter that I apply before the race. Swim cap and goggles in case I want to do a swim on Friday. I also wear I'll be wearing calf sleeves this time. I've worn them a few times before, but I think because of the rain and strong winds, they're probably better to wear those. And I also always wear arm guards. So these are like calf sleeves, but for the arms. They work to protect me from the sun, but also a bit more aero. And I've got finally I'm packing an extra towel because I'm driving straight home after the race. I expect to be soaked to the bone, so I can dry off and clean up a little bit before I get in the car and make the 2.5 hour journey back home. Now I'm going to show you my bike. So this is my bike that I race on. I've had it for about 3 or 4 years now. It's the original A2 Speed Freak. It was a anniversary gift from my wife. I was doing my first Ironman, and I was using my road bike, and she came to watch, I think it was a sprint, and she's like, why do all those other bikes look different to yours? And I said, well, there's a difference between a road bike and a tri bike. And so she surprised me with this as a gift for our anniversary that year, which was really nice. The only thing that's probably left on it originally is the frame and the seat post. So you can see I use the Head Jet 6 wheels. I use the Easy Disc cover or whatever it's called on the back. And you can see I use a gold and black chain. I can't remember the brand, but I use the same brand all the time. Uh, on when I'm on the trainer, because I wax all my chains, so I have 3 silver chains that I rotate on the trainer, and I only use this one for races, so it can just last longer. And I also put a molten speed wax on, but the powder, but the powder is going to be no good because it's pouring with rain, so I'm not going to bother putting that on this time. It's a Shimano 105 crank up front because I shortened it to 165mm crank arms, which I find makes a huge difference when I come off the bike onto the run. It's Ultegra derailleur at the back, ceramic speed oversized pulley. It's an Ultegra 1132 11 speed cassette because I did a lot of climbing races, so I just kept it on there. And I find with these flat courses, I only really use one gear. Once I get in the gear, then I just stay in that. The wheels are Schwalbe Pro 1 tubeless. This is a brand new wheel because my last race, I got a flat and I rode it the last 10 miles flat and wrecked the tire. Sorry, not new wheel, new tire. The seat, ISM PN 2.1. This was given to me by Ed, a guy called Ed from our Tri Club. He just let me have it, which was awesome. Thanks, Ed. I use these Aero drink bottles up here, so you can see I can put a second one on here if I want to. Normally I fill these up with Morton drink mix, but I don't think I need it this time, so I'm probably just going to go with plain water in this one. I was tempted to go a second bottle because I don't think it makes much difference. They're pretty light. They're magnetic, so you can see you can just take them on and off. But again, I'm kind of use the on-course nutrition. You can see up front in the cockpit, I changed to a higher angled bar, and I also use these risers in here. These are 3D printed risers. They're not designed for this bike. You can see I had to use the zip ties to hold it in place, and these are from a brand in Poland, Aero X, I think they call them as well. These make a huge difference as well. Super comfortable. In between the bars, I put this bottle holder. So this is where I'll grab a bottle, usually water. I find the Gatorade Endurance on course is too thick, so I might drink that at the start, my first bottle, but after that I'll switch it out for plain water and put that in between the bars. And this is like a toolkit in case of emergencies. You can see I duct tape it on here, so it's quite difficult to get off. So we only want to use that if there's serious trouble. And up here, this is actually for my watch. My watch has got I can take it on and off and put it on here, but I'll take that off for now because I'm going to mount my Garmin. I've got a Garmin Edge 540. I'll mount on there for the race. And that is the bike. I'm hoping for a bike split. I think I can do a low 220s on this course, but it's forecast 40-mile-an-hour wind, so it's an out and back, so I'm either going to get the wind one way and against it coming back. So that's probably doubtful. I don't want to work too hard on the bike. I'm going to aim for between 270 to 285 watts, depending on how I feel. and so that I can save for a good run.